Hello and welcome. Today you're going to see the power of no-code integration connectors for Sitecore OrderCloud in action, which are essential for the enterprise data story. So let's take a look now at how to set up an OrderCloud integration through Put It Forward's no-code connectors. You'll notice now that we have inside of Put It Forward a number of different areas where we can spend time. Typically, this is the domain of a business analyst, maybe a technical analyst, project manager, someone that is set up to work with the data in between the two applications. Normally, when we start here, we'd see a list of a number of different integrations or business scenarios or processes that are running. We have one set up for us here today that we're going to start with, which is an OrderCloud integration into Salesforce. It could be into any of the hundreds of different applications inside Put It Forward. So let's take a quick look at how this sets up. Clicking into the OrderCloud, we move into Process Designer. Now, what Process Designer is an orchestration of different events that happen in between multiple different systems. It could be two systems, it could be one system, it could be 20, 30, any amount of systems that need to be integrated together. So we see here, we start at the top here, reading from top to bottom, left to right, in terms of the different steps inside of a process. Now, first we go into OrderCloud and we connect to it, and then we pull out the data that we potentially need. We look for the product data. Maybe we're looking for variant data on orders. We're looking for maybe the order details, some of the line item detail, pricing detail, and so on. Each one of these is a discrete step in the process. Now, you can create as many steps here. You can move the steps around. You can organize this. You can have multiple different variations on this depending on the number of systems and the types of processes that you're having to work with. We'll come back to this in a little bit further. So let's just look at where the actual integration rubber meets the road, as it were. So we're going to select one of these boxes. Then we're going to move into the designer. The designer is where the data mapping and the business rules and transformation logic actually happens within the integration process. So it's very simple. We have two different data fields here that are not connected with one another, and we want to link them. So when we come in here, we click on the link button. It gives us the options of which fields to map. We want to map ID to ID, and we want to map name to name. Doing so here now binds them together, so when the integration runs, it moves the appropriate data from ID to ID and name to name and owner ID and so on and so forth. Now you can add a number of different transformations in here. You can add other functions in here to do things like, check for different conditions like if this, then that, or. You can call out to an external service. Maybe you want to do an address validation. Maybe you want to do a check to see if a field is complete, etc. These are all functions inside of the no-code connectors inside Put It Forward. So we'll just quickly save that. Now, when we go back into the process designer here, we can maybe validate what we want to validate the actual process flow. Maybe we want to say, oh, actually, I have a change in a process flow here that I want to make. Maybe I want to change the special regional shipping information and I want to move that to another sub process over here. So basically it's very quick. We just change the parent process here. We select where we want to move it to, and then we move the process or the sub process over to its parent. What this allows you to do is to start to redesign your processes without having to do any coding on top of that or any reorganization. All the underlying integration stays and remaps into the new location itself. So we quickly save that, and then the process is essentially ready to run. So we'll move back into Platform Manager here. And to activate one of these integrations, it's very simple. Select on the activation link here at the end. Check the frequency that you want. Real time, once an hour, once a day, once a week. You can choose the time you want it to start. Maybe it's a batch process that runs monthly, at the end of every month. You can certainly set up to do that. Otherwise, let's just default to real time. We can choose when it's going to start. And if we don't want to start it immediately, we can maybe perhaps start it at the end of the day or at another time in the future. So we just save this here. It'll start automatically. And now once it's saved, it's going to be scheduling in real time, and the integration is set to run. That is how you set up a OrderCloud integration using the no-code connectors inside Put It Forward.